There's this American expression called jumping the shark because you had this guy which did a lot of stunts. And he was very popular, but at one point he ran out of stunts to do. So the last stunt which he did was to jump the shark. He basically like jumped and there was a pool with a shark in the middle. And that was it, like, because you can't trump that. Like, that is the end of your career. Like, nothing you do after that can be more impressive. You jump the shark, congratulations. And this is the expression because now you see DC Comics planning to kill the entire Justice League. And killing a superhero traditionally is also called jumping the shark. Because you exhausted everything interesting about that superhero. There's no more character building. There's nothing in depth that you can do. So you kill them off in order to shock people. And hopefully they're going to buy your comic. But it's not something that's not heard about before. It's not something that's really shocking if you think about it. I mean, they're not going to get rid of the entire Justice League. They're not going to get rid of them. Of course, they're going to come back, so they're not really dead. So where is the shock? Where is the value? And the answer is there is no shock value. You got nothing, which is boring and lazy writing. It's kind of like making a superhero gay, if you think about it. Why do they make superhero gays? It's to shock people, right? For the New York Times to write about it, for The Guardian to write about it, to create conflict within the fandom. It's like, oh my god, all these homophobes, oh, they don't like it. And even though, like, nowadays, I haven't even heard people complaining that much when a superhero becomes gay, because it's like, meh, you know, it's already been done, you jumped the shark already. So, if you think about it, like, if you're a writer, let's say you're writing Superman, and you're going to your editor in order to pitch in a new story, you can say, all right, let's have Superman beat up Lex Luthor. And your editor will say, nah, we did that. Okay, well, let's have Superman lose his powers. It's like, no, we did that. All right, what if Lois gets Superman's power? No, we did that. Okay, what if Superman is gay? Well, now your editor, if he says we shouldn't do that, oh, he's a homophobe. Now you can report him to HR. So that's why you get a lot of gay characters coming up. And yeah, making a character gay is similar like killing them from a plot point of view. It's just the shock value, right? Like, you know, nothing will change with the story. Just because Superman is gay, like, you're not going to get interesting stories that have to do with his gayness or something like that. Same when they die. It's like, it's not going to lead to anything interesting. It's like they're going to come back. It's like they're not going to get rid of the Justice League, duh. I guess it reminds me of the 90s when you would watch all these TV shows like Hercules, Xena, Star Trek, and what all these shows had in common is that you reached a point where the main character would interact with his evil twin from an alternate dimension or from an alternate timeline or something like that. You would have like good Hercules meeting bad Hercules, like good Xena meeting bad Xena, good Buffy meeting evil Buffy. And that's when you knew that the show was about to end. Because like they would throw everything at it, even the kitchen sink. So the evil character from another dimension was literally the last thing. Like, it was like when you reach zero moral creativity, that is when you do that. So it's the same like killing superheroes, it's the same like making them gays, all of these things, right? Now, they're hiding behind the fact that, oh, well, this is like the time Doomsday killed Superman, and it's been 30 years since, so we're making this big anniversary thing. It's like, first of all, when Doomsday kills Superman, they didn't give the spoilers before, right? It was just a comic, and it was really interesting, and I don't think like superheroes died before that. I mean, killing a superhero in that particular era where you had like a lot of conservative censorship of comics, where you weren't allowed to show blood, you weren't allowed to have a lot of things. Like, killing Superman was incredibly politically incorrect, and that made a lot of people turn their heads and go like, oh wow, like they did that, oh my god. And secondly, it was also interesting, right? Like, Superman died, like that never happened before, so what are they going to do with that? But after that, I mean, they killed so many superheroes and brought them back to life constantly that it's like, meh, at this point. It's overdone. You've done it so many times. So, you know, instead of complaining, I will tell you what they can do in order to actually increase sales, but they're never going to do that, right? So, one of the things they could do, why not contact a Japanese company, because manga is really popular right now, and do a crossover. Like, I mean, DC probably has the money to make this happen. Imagine Batman in Attack on Titan universe. Imagine the My Hero Academia with the Young Justice League. I mean, imagine all of these cool scenarios that you can have just by contacting a Japanese company and working out a deal where for some limited issues you can have like a crossover event. Wouldn't that be really cool? And if you can't do it with the populars, you know, like you can't get Superman to fight Goku because Akira Toriyama doesn't want to do that. Okay, fine. There might be like some mangas that didn't get to have animes and the writer would love a business deal. And you can have something like that. You can have that happening. I mean, imagine Batman in Berserk or something. You know, like think about it. Like the opportunity is limitless. I'm pretty sure there must be like some manga writer out there that has a manga famous enough and he is willing to get this deal happen. I mean, I guarantee to you, like, people would be interested in comics again and they would actually buy the comics. But you'd have to put your hubris aside and actually work with one of these Japanese companies. Another thing that they could do, why is everything about superheroes? Why is everything revolving around superheroes? Why not make it so that some superheroes get sent back in time and they lose their powers, and now they're pirates, you know, fighting in the colonial empire or something like that, you know, fighting against colonial oppression. Like you have Arrow. Like Arrow would make a good pirate. So send him back in time or send him into an alternative universe, like in the Pirates of Darkwater or something like that. Like be creative. Do something out of the ordinary. Create an alternative world where, sure, you know, like maybe they are superheroes, but they don't have the access to their full powers. I mean, the Arrow would not have access to all of his gadgets and all of his machinery and stuff. And he should have to be creative, like using sticks and whatever, the technology at the time. Maybe he can even bring technology to those people and explain to them how rockets work or something like that. It could be cool, right? More people would rather read that. And finally, I mean, this is something that would be insanely edgy, very controversial. They would never do it. You know how, like, you have all these comics where the hero goes back in time in order to stop the Nazis from taking over America or something like that? So you have, like, the heroes going back in time to fix it. Why not doing that exactly, but this time making them be on the side of the Nazis? I mean, that would blow people's minds. So why would you do that, right? Like, why would Superman be on the side of the Reich? Well, what if someone tampered history so that Hitler doesn't go to power, but because that doesn't happen, you have the story from Red Alert and the communists take over Europe and then the communists take over America. So now in the future, you have like this hellhole where everything is authoritarian, everything is like a dictatorship, there's no human rights, there's no nothing, like it's Soviet Russia on steroids. So they're going back in time to fix history, like to make the same history that happened in the past to make it today. And you could have like such an interesting philosophical question and such interesting arguments. Like maybe some superheroes don't want to change the history. So you could have like this really rich philosophical arguments, and you could actually have like some superheroes making the case on why it's good that bad things happen in the past so we can benefit from freedom today. And then you have some others like, yeah, but look how many lives you could save and look how many blah, blah, blah. Right? So you could actually do that. But they're not going to do that. Why? Because political correctness, that's why. And they can't shock people anymore. Like, they can't do interesting stories anymore. So, let me know what you guys think, though, about my ideas especially. And I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.